where situated Baytul Hikmah, that is house of wisdom. Now, from the definitions above, we can understand that Islamic golden era covers from the migration of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam in the 622 till 13th century, almost 600 years. Muslim ruled almost 600 years uninterruptedly. No interruption for 600 years. Muslim enjoy that Islamic rule and golden era. This was the time Muslims, Jews, Christians, and pagans, even pagans, lived together harmoniously under Islamic rule, in accordance with Quranic scripture that states, La ikraha fi din. Let there be no compulsion in Islam. Surah Al-Baqarah, Ayah 256. This was seconded by the Charter of Medina, that is Dostorul Medina or Mithaqul Medina, the world first known and modernized constitution written by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. We have not seen any constitution similar to that since then, where Muslims, Christians, Jews were living harmoniously but under Islamic rule. During this period, Muslims reached the peak of their affairs in all ramifications. Tell me anywhere, technologically, mainly Iman was so peak, technologically they advanced. Just mention, such as faith and obedience to Almighty Allah, peace, unity, oneness in word and actions, unification of their ideas and decisions, educationally well organized, scientifically genius, technologically advanced above others. Muslims during this period ruled the world, architecturally above everyone, democratically a role model to others, militarily giant, particularly during Rashidun Khilafat Rashidun. During the Khilafat of Al-Abbasiyya, particularly Al-Khalif Harun Rashid, Muslims reached their advanced age in technology with inauguration of Baytul Hikmah, as I said earlier, that is the house of wisdom in Baghdad, where scholars from various parts of the world translate, they gather together and translate all world classical knowledge into Arabic. All world classical knowledge into Arabic, they gather irregardless of the knowledge. This is where our problem lies. Knowledge today, we say it is haram. Boko today, it is haram. During this era, Muslims gather, they don't want to know either you are from Jew, from anywhere, from pagans, they gather this knowledge because Islam based on knowledge. Aqra, Bismi Rabbika alladhi khalaq. Islam is based on sound knowledge. Islam has no room for ignorance. Therefore, they were advanced, they above others because of this. They gathered knowledge from anywhere. They don't want to know your faith. But what you need is knowledge. They gathered it from them. Now, this occurred between year 706 till 809, almost a century. Faith. Muslims during this period were sophisticated with sound faith in Almighty Allah. That is the first thing. You know that all the prophets, no any prophet, they came with two things. Faith, that is oneness of Almighty Allah. Then the legislation, that is Sharia, they they brought. Some prophet came to forbid increasing reducing the measure. Some prophet came to abolish what they term as gay today. Some prophet came, he met his people, they were just indulged in a magician. He came to abolish us. But the first thing they came is oneness of Almighty Allah. First, they command what is right and forbid what is bad. Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat linnas ta'muruna bil ma'ruf wa tanhauna 'anil munkar. You are the best community ever raised on the surface of earth. Because of what? Because you command what is good and forbid what is bad. It was community filled with sound faith and virtues, waging war against polytheism and vices. Unity amongst them was not compromised during this golden era. They disown any attitudes leads to disunity, tribalism, sentiment, hatred among themselves, despite series of floods from Jews. Abu Dharr al-Ghifari, may Allah be pleased with him. One day he saw Bilal. He said, Yabna Sauda. You know Bilal from Africa. Yabna Sauda. What we can term today as, blackie? So black like charcoal. Today we consider as normal. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, Tufasakh. This is an expression of total condemnation. Ya Abu Dharr, innaka murun fika jahiliya. Abu Dharr, you are still living in an era of ignorance. Your iman is not yet complete. Is yet complete. Abu Dharr, attitude of Sahaba, they got their correction immediately. Abu Dharr did not waste any time. He rushed and apologized to Bilal. But he said before Allah will accept his apology, Allah will accept his forgiveness, he brought his chin and lay it down and asked Bilal to step with his black leg, to step it on his chin. Allah might forgive him for uttering that singular words. Unity amongst them. And then be totally condemn sentiment, racism, favoritism, and whatever you call it. And then be strongly condemn it when Abu Dharr made this statement. Today, I'm looking forward to a day where we have black, either Nigerian or Kenyan, to be Imam of Haram. I'm looking for a day for that, because Muslim, we're supposed to unite as one. But so I never condemn this in La farqa bayna Arabi wala Ajami wala Allahu Akbar wala bayna Aswad wala Abyad illa bi taqwa. Only piety is the one that distinguishes you. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. Education. Muslim leaders at the aforementioned period laid emphasis on education, which is the solid base of Islam, as I said earlier, as commanded by Almighty Allah. Read in the name of your Lord. Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Hal yastawi alladhina ya'lamun walladhina la ya'lamun. We know the Azhar University, Jamiat al-Azhar in Cairo, was the first university in the East and the oldest in the history. While University Al-Qayrawan, Al-Qarawiyin in Fes, Morocco, founded in 859, is the world's oldest degree awarding university, recognized by the World Guinness Book of Record. Let's go to military because of time. Muslims during the period displayed their mighty against whoever put impediment against their propagation of Islam or transgressed to their peaceful community. All of these were clearly stated in the Kutub Kutubu Siro. When you go to Siro, see Battle of Badr. It will never occur in the world where we have 1/3 of the troop. Muslims were 313, where we have disbelievers as 1,000 troops. It is not possible. That's why most of the world today, or any country today, they are so skeptical to wage war against China because of their giants, their might, military might. You can never be in battery. It occurred. 313 triumph against 1,000 disbeliever. That was Ghazwat al-Badr. We're looking forward to a day where we Muslims will conquer the whole world again. Politics and good governance. Politics and good governance. Muslims during this era enjoyed good governance, trusted leadership. I would like to classify in 2 minutes. Politics. Sayyidina Umar bin Khattab, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, we heard about him. During his era, a woman that necessity came in Egypt that they should demolish her house to expand masjid and Islam and maslahat al-amma to qaddam ala maslahat al-khassa, where public interest is preferred above personal interest. No, they approached the woman refused. They value her house, presented the money, the money to her, she refused. As she refused, a necessity came to expand the masjid in Cairo, in Egypt. So, Amr bin Asi, the governor then, went ahead and demolished the mosque and sent the money to her. Despite that she refused. So this woman looked at, asked, who is their leader that I can lay this complaint to? We have national complaint commission today. Are they working? A Jew woman, she was not a Muslim. A Jew woman left. She went to Medina. Somebody directed her to Medina. She went to Medina to lay complaint. She reached Medina. Say, because when she reached Medina, there was no house to distinguish. This is the Amir al-Mu'minin house. So look, where is the Amir al-Mu'minin palace? She saw there was no any palace, nothing. When they directed her to he said, where is the Amir al-Mu'minin? They said, Amir al-Mu'minin is in the masjid, walking. She went there. She saw two men. One was mixing the sand. The other one was molding the masjid. So I said, please, I'm looking for. They say Amir al-Mu'minin, Umar Khattab. Haruna Amir al-Mu'minin. This Amir al-Mu'minin on top of the wall. So, Mashanuk, what was your problem? What's your problem? What is your problem? Or you mar'a? Or you woman? She explained herself. What happened, what transpired between Amir and the governor of Egypt. And Sayyidina Umar bin Khattab just wrote something, a coded letter in the same clay, a coded letter, and gave it to the woman. The woman had a doubt in her mind that this ordinary thing can never work. But let me just go. She went she went back to Egypt. She presented this to governor. Governor instructed that the masjid should be demolished and the house of the woman should be reconstructed back. The woman astonished. What? For this I can get back my right. Just ordinary this? He said, no. The mosque should not be demolished. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. She embraced Islam. That was Muslim then. Today, what are we saying? We are going to masjid. But are we following what injunction of Almighty Allah? May Allah continue to guide us aright. There's no time. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله ولكم فاستغفروه هو الغفور والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
As agreed upon, this is the first paper presented by Ustaz Dawood. Inshallah, we are now moving to the second step, which means for the second paper, inshallah, our father in Islam, the person of Dr. Jeremiah, The paper is entitled Actual Status Quo of Today's Muslim. It is the present situation. What is it all about? Is it can we compare it to that of the past? So that what is the problem? What do we have as a problem these days? So we hope that our father in Islam will do justice to.
Thank you, the moderator. As we earlier announced, that we have introduced the guests that were around initially. As program progresses, some of the invited guests are coming in, so we are here to acknowledge the arrival of Engineer Ali Salahuddin of KMC. You are highly welcome. We also acknowledge the presence of Mala Abdulmajid Hamza and his wife. Also, Bala Ibrahim from Guida. You are highly welcome. We also welcome Malam Umar Danlade, as well as Ali-Aji Isa, the chief of Kagini. You are highly welcome. Before we continue, we have to introduce some of our mothers here. Ajia Ramatu Hashim, you are highly welcome. You are welcome. As well as Ajia Akiade Bashirat, you are highly welcome. Ajia Sophia Salisu Umar, Ajia Yusuf Adishat, Ajia Awa Abdulmajid.
All and our father in Islam, the person of Dr. Jami Uluatoyin Zakaria for his presentation. Jazakumullahu khairan wa ahsan ilaykum.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فالسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Mr. Moderator, or do I say Dr. Moderator? The convener, our big brother, Dr. AL-IJEBUWI, Your Royal Highness, the Chief of Kagini, and fellow Muslims. The paper, the title or the topic I was given to write on looks simple but is very detailed. It has to do with the status quo of of today's Muslims. To do justice to this, we have to start from where our brother stopped the other time. He has given us the history, the beautiful things that happened in those days, which ordinarily I don't always like to hear that. It's like a child saying, my father used to be a rich man. My father was rich, but we are pushing truck today. What is the essence of the riches of your father? I'm giving only 15 minutes, so I will scan through this paper, which is a 22-page paper. I will just scan through it. But towards the end, I will give a report of a survey conducted by an international organization in 32 Muslim countries on Muslim identity, which is the main problem of Muslim disunity. The Muslim world as it stands today is characterized by paradox and contradictions. We have Muslim nations that are resource rich but economically poor and weak. Despite the bounty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the majority of Muslim masses live in abject poverty amidst of plenty for selected few. There was a time when Islamic civilization was considered to be the most advanced, tolerant, and progressive civilization in the world, as my brother said before now. This was mainly because of their accomplishment in practically all disciplines of knowledge. After the 16th century of Gregorian calendar, the situation changed drastically. Learning and inquiry was no more the motto of Muslims, with the result that today they occupy the lowest position in the ladder of the world. We are in the lowest of the low. And I'm going to give some statistical data to support all this. They are educationally backward, scientifically marginal, politically insignificant, and economically poor. This is the present status of the entire woman among the Committee of Nations. A cursory glance leads one to the conclusion that Muslim world is in serious disarray. Most, if not all, of the Muslim countries are going through a phase of internal confusion and uncertainty marked by political instability, economic underdevelopment and deprivation, and scientific and technological backwardness and cultural dislocation. Let's look at statistics. The entire Muslim world, that is 57, we are considering 57 countries now, including Nigeria. We have 500, about 500 universities. This is the Ummah that was the first to establish university. On the other hand, in USA alone, there are 5,758 universities. In India, you have 8,407 universities. Ability to read and write anything, either Yoruba, Hausa, Arabic, or anything. Unfortunately, around 2002, the most literate country in the world was Cuba, but was followed by an Islamic country, Libya. 97% literacy. But can we say that of Libya today? Totally destroyed. Furthermore, more than 98% of the Western countries that we count not to be Muslim countries completed at least primary school, whereas less than 50% from the Muslim communities. The Muslim majority countries have 230 registered scientists in every 1 million people, whereas in US you have 5,000 registered scientists in every 1 million person. Let's see where we spend our money. Muslims spend 0.2% of their GDP on research. 0.2. While Western countries spend 5% of their GDP on research. If we decide to be giving out this data, we can go on and on and on in the area of health, in the area of agriculture, everywhere. We are just not there. Do we continue to blame others for our problems? The majority of the responsibility for this lack of human development in Muslim community is to be blamed on Muslims themselves. After all, these are their communities and their countries. Our status quo today is so diverse and complex that the scope of this presentation cannot do justice to it. But some of the most disheartening ones will briefly be examined in this paper. Let's look at what some, because this paper, actually the way Dr. present this thing to me, I thought I was going to write a paper for publication. So it's very academic. You see, there's a data that I need to give to you that I've forgotten. There are more than 20 million refugees in the world and homeless people in the world today. 92% of them are Muslims. And look at it. 80% of Las Vegas, that is gambling center of the world, is owned by Muslims. Top football and sports clubs in the world are owned by Muslims. They spend billions of dollars and pounds, hard currency. A player is bought for over 100 million pounds by a club owned by a Muslim. That is too far. Just recently, a Nigerian donated a building for a university where his two daughters graduated in US. A building worth, a research building worth $40 million. And it's from Borno State, where only $2 million will have taken care of thousands of IDPs in his state. This is where we are. Unlike what my brother said before, when a Muslim feels pain, the rest Muslim feel the pains. But nowadays it's not like that. Tunzum, 2012, said 20th century was a time when a time period in which all Jewish and Christian nations united and all Muslim nations disintegrated. That is supporting what my brother has just said. Crumbling, and we went down. Though there are many common points binding Muslims to each other, they have been unable to establish unity among themselves. That's what he said. We've not been able to establish unity among ourselves. The Muslim world faces the challenge of war, poor health care, poverty, violation of women's rights, illiteracy, lack of progress, dictatorship, lack of political transparency, ethnic conflicts, and regional division. Illiteracy is a problem in majority of Muslim countries. the Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs commissioned a paper. Okay, you see, 5 minutes to go. Commissioned a paper, and it's undated. It was written by one Muhammad Abdullahi Tosin. He said, disunity and tolerance, they are the major challenges facing Muslim Ummah in Nigeria and the rest of the world. He went further to explain that the single most threatening problem facing Muslim in the world, Nigeria inclusive today, is disunity among Muslims. There exist many Muslim organizations mostly propagating irreconcilable ideology and working at cross purposes. So, because I have 5 minutes, I will not be able to give the review of that study on Muslim identity, but I will just give 3 things that are in this paper. Number 1, when I came to Nigeria in 1980 and I was to register for NYSC, I was given a paper to fill. Unlike now, we fill papers. Under religion, I saw Catholic, Protestant, Islam. I took Islam. That goes like that. My first experience in a barrack in Nigeria, I saw 3 worshiping area. I said, why? 2 for Christian, 1 for Muslims. I said, why? They said, yes,